Guys, this video I will be reviewing Travis Scott's new album Utopia from rapper, singer, I would say. One of the most anticipated rap albums of 2023 and of the 2020 decade, and took about 5 years for Travis Scott to craft a full-length album. And you had Astroworld, you had Rodeo, and honestly, I thought that Travis Scott wasn't all that. I thought he was overrated. Now, when I listen to this whole album in full, I'm really impressed about these songs. So let's get more into the tracks. I like a song like A Modern Jam. That's one of my favorite songs on that album. It's so epic. You got the nice drum beats. You have Travis rapping, which I really enjoy, and I want to see more Travis Scott raps in the future. Next, I really think another great highlight on the track list might be the one with West Side Gun, Lost Forever. I think that's such a great song. You get the classic boom bow bow. You get those. Overall, this album is really anticipated. Everybody wanted this album to drop someday, and we have it. And let's go to more of a feature on this album. So features include The Weeknd on a song like K-Pop or Circus Maximus. On SZA, you have her on Till Further Notice. Actually, no, Telekinesis. On Drake, you have him on Meltdown. And I'm a huge Drake fan. If you guys watch my other videos on the channel, I love Meltdown. I really like Drake's, like, he sounds menacing. Like, he just sounds so menacing. He has that voice that you want to hear. Gets you into this vibe that I really enjoy. Now let's go to a track with more. I don't usually talk about like R&B or pop, but we're going into Travis Scott and Beyonce's song Do Resto / Echoes with Beyonce. Now, I don't think I've ever talked about Beyonce on the channel, but I love Beyonce on this album. I love seeing her on the album. I love her on the album overall. Her performance, the vocals are just top tier. You know, Beyonce always comes with those nice vocals. I don't think it should be a Travis song. I think it should be a Beyonce song because Beyonce fit the vibe. Because Beyonce has dance records like that, like I Wanna Break My Soul, where you have this beat. It's really groovy, and I think Beyonce fits the vibe more. Even though Travis didn't have a bad verse, I think Beyonce definitely fit the vibe better. Now let's talk about some more features on this album. So, you know, you talk about you talk about West Side Gun, James Blake on I think it was on one of those songs with 21 Savage. I think it was Till Further Notice. I think it was Till Further Notice or Utopia Twins, one of those. I think it was Till Further Notice. But James Blake, I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I know that James Blake was on this album, and his vocals were just so great. This record is so consistent. When you go to a Hyena with this, I just love seeing Travis going into a rap type of vibe, and Utopia is such a great album. I think the best rap album that I've heard so far that dropped in 2023. I think that when it comes to, he brings on these great features, like when you go to Sampha on My Eyes, or where you have Drake on Meltdown, where you have 21 on Till Further Notice, which I think is a great performance. And when you go to, you know, all these great features, you know, and I think Utopia really just had a special is really iconic. One of the most iconic releases of this year because everybody wanted to see a great Travis Scott performance, and this proved me wrong because Travis Scott is not overrated. He is an amazing artist, and this album definitely proves it. Then when you go, you have these such great tracks, like a song like I Know, or Schizo, or with like Future and SZA on Telekinesis. You have Future on this album, and a lot of people probably wanted this to happen, and it happened. A Travis Scott and Future feature is what we got. Future feature on this album is what we got, and this album is honestly, to no doubt, I would give it an 8 somewhere, like a mid 8. I think it's an amazing album. Definitely Travis's iconic release of this year. Definitely a great album. But let's talk about K-pop, okay? This dropped before. This was the single heading into UTOPIA. I think that K-pop is not a bad song by any means. I love that beat. It's a groovy beat. You have The Weeknd has a solid performance. So as you have The Weeknd on Circus Maximus, which we'll talk about after this. But Bad Bunny, Travis Scott's in there in the beginning. I like it. And this song is not even that bad. I'll give it a 7. I think a high 7. I think it's a pretty great track from Kanye. From Kanye, when we're talking about from Travis Scott. Now let's go into The Weeknd on Circus Maximus. Super amazing vocals. The Weeknd just has those vocals that touch your heart. And what I mean by that, he just gives you these smooth vocals. One of the best vocal singers of this generation. And when you get The Weeknd on a feature, you know that you're gonna get some great vocals. Like on a Crew Love, even though it's so off topic, even though we're talking about Drake right now, even though we're supposed to talk about Travis, we're just talking about how on The Weeknd, he just gives you, with The Weeknd, he gives you a super great singing on Crew Love. And overall, when you go to The Weeknd, he gives you great singing. Now let's just talk about overall Circus Maximus. Travis Scott, great. You see him rapping. You have, I think that was a Black Skinhead. It was sort of sounded like Black Skinhead by Kanye. And honestly, this album, that song is pretty great as well. And thank God, you have a nice song too, as well as a Schizo. Utopia Twins is pretty decent. 21 Savage goes hard. And when I mean hard, it's hard. Modern Jams is such a stupid song, but stupidly good. And just overall, this album is a great one. And it's super iconic of this year because everybody wanted to see Travis Scott drop a new album in 2023. And this is what he did. That's what he did. 19 songs, Utopia, Travis Scott. He's great. He's great. Proving that you get it from Utopia. Such great songs and such a great album. Super anticipated album for this year and of the 2020 decade. I think everybody wanted to see this album drop, and it did. And I think this is a pretty great album. I would give it a mid 8. I would give it a mid 8. And that is it for this video, guys. Peace. Utopia.